for giving me this opportunity. In many ways, I want to share one thing with you which was not mentioned in the introduction. Is for me it is homecoming.
Yes.
Because I was here for 16 years before I went to Delhi University. So it's in a way for me coming back home. I just want to ask one thing. Are you all PhD students, or I know some of you, the faculty members are of course already PhDs, but most of the other students are PhD students?
Yes.
From Jamia or from different places? Okay. Now, because we are talking about imagining research, and all of you are already doing research. So to talk about imagining research would be a difficult task, especially when you are already into it. But to go back a little, I would start with maybe 5 or 6 questions or 5 or 6 examples of what are the research questions. Would students like to tell me their research topic or their research question? I would like to just note them down, and from there we will start. So, anyone can volunteer. What are you working on? Yeah.
My name is Prof Pandit and I am from University of Kashmir. I am working on I am working on third gender construct in Bollywood, and I am analyzing some select films for the same.
Third gender
construct in Bollywood.
Okay. Any other topic? Any volunteer who wants to mention the topic?
My name is Mara Hassan. I am also from University of Kashmir, and I am working on social media and newspapers. I want to see the social media effects and impact on newspapers in India.
I am Tanya. I already submitted my thesis in JNU. Yeah, I was working on Buddhist textual tradition and I was looking into the gender relations, and specifically marriage in the Buddhist textual traditions.
Gender relations and marriage.
My name is Devaratri, and my PhD topic is new media and aging population. I'm looking at how the aging population is.
Third gender construct in Bollywood. How did you arrive at this topic?
I was actually working on a project for sexual harassment in healthcare sector. So I met a few of the transgender women there. So that is how it struck me. In the hospitals they were ill-treated and they were harassed. So since I'm a media student, so I had somehow to connect it to media. So I took third gender and I merged it with media. So that's how I came to know it. So I am partially looking at the social construction as well.
Right. So you're talking of social construction in their everyday life, or you're talking of social construction
I'm
in
actually
Bollywood?
taking Bollywood, and part of it will be in their social life as well.
And Hamara, you? How did you arrive at this topic?
Ma'am, actually I was interested to know how the social media is helping news organizations like reporters and newsmen with their technology. Like I wanted to see the impact and effect on the newspaper organizations, both in the Delhi and in Kashmir. Then I wanted to make a comparative study.
So you're looking at the material in social media or technology in social media?
Both material as well as technology, how newspapers are using the technology.
And Tanya?
I'm dealing mainly with the historical text. So my interest was grounded in this way, or rather it evolved from the lapses in the Brahminical text. But what we see that the everyday life is not reflected in that way, in that specific focus in Brahminical text, which is focused mainly on the rites, rituals, and some didactic, mainly the didactic text. So the Buddhist text, what we see that there is a representation of the everyday life in the folk tales like Jataka. partly in Therigata and Theravada. So, to make the comparative study, I think that ought to look more into the everyday life where we get a reflection of this marginalized classes like gender in particular, and also the other marginal classes as a whole. So mainly the representation of everyday life was the main reason for me selecting this text.
Yeah, but not just selection of the Buddhist text, selection of the topic itself.
Both are related in a way because as I'm delving on the gender issues, so the everyday life, the representation of everyday life was like more important to me. So it's more it's related in that way.
I'm trying to see how the aging people use the mobile phones and the laptops in their everyday life. The reason being that when we talk about new media, we always relate with the young population, not with the aging population. So this was my concern. This was how I represent this. Study how the aging people, how comfortable are they using the internet.
Okay, now see, all the 4 topics that are there, can you give me one larger question which might have occurred in your mind when you decided to teach it?
And I decided I wanted to see how are they dealing with the smartphones in the changing media environment and how are they using it. Like how comfortable are they using the smartphones and how are they shaping up their social relationships. That is what I wanted to see.
I think the question would be broadly not about views, it's about socialization. It's about how people socialize with media socializing pattern. Either it's a risk or socializing. It's not about media, that's a very commonsensical research. But when you think about media, it's about socialization. How social media is used for social media and socialization. That is the broad question.
And your question is actually, so what is your broad, if there was one question in the broad sense?
The aspects of everyday life, I can figure out the gender relation. Different aspects. It can be household, it can be the sangha, that is like some alternative structure of the like the implicit sangha, which is an alternative structure to the conventional household. So I want to like gender relations in the everyday experiences of the community.
How do you construe everyday life? How do you construe everyday life?
Yeah, that will come as a through the research it will come up in that way. That can be a bigger question.
No, but we must have some formulations about the idea of everyday life. When you talk about everyday life,
Yeah.
we can't take it on a commonsensical path and say what everyday life, because everyday life is a well-researched theme. You know that when you talk about everyday life, it's a very well-researched theme. I mean, when I'm taking a very basic sense of everyday life, then everyday life mess itself is a French construction. And I must know that what Michel Serki talks about everyday life, or even others, that I can't just talk about everyday life in a very generic sense. I understand that everyday life is a construct, and there are conflicts, there are coercion, there are different ways that we understand everyday life. Either I'm clear about that, then I'm talking about everyday life. Otherwise,
Yeah, there I am focusing on the social status in particular, and gender relation is contextualized within it.
so I'm saying that, you see, it's like what I'm trying to translate the idea as a historian. In fact, you know that Michel Serki is a historian. And in fact, that is a walking through Paris. That's one of the major important articles. What I'm saying is everydayness itself. Everydayness is not something which is visible. There are hidden meanings behind everydayness.
And different ways of understanding also.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because my
So-
way of visualizing everyday can be different from someone else.
No, but there are particulars. So how do you distinguish yourself? How do you problematize everything? So, you know, that's what we need, that's what she's asking. Then how do you problematize that everything?
Basically, I'm dealing with a Buddhist text. So here, the life inside the sangha and their encounter with the conventional household. that is also a part of every day. They have different kind of experiences which comes up.
Yeah.
So because alternative lifestyle in a household of Sangha and the conventional household is way different. But there are passages of negotiation. There are there are negotiations taking place, and Buddhist Sangha is dependent on the household life for their sustenance. So there are different. I mean, the compromises from both both parts.
So you
For
are
the
trying
household
to,
and
so you are trying to see every day is a negotiation.
yeah, contemplation and negotiation.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. That's how you probably try.
Yeah, but to very broad question as ma'am suggested, so I took overall holistic approach.
Now your broad question. What all did you think in your mind when you tried to narrow down your topic?
When I thought about the topic, what I found out was, if I took some examples of Bollywood movies, the portrayal of third gender was, boiled down to mockery or denial or, a very negative role. So that is what, pushed me to do the research. Now it's just the last few years where movies like Aligarh have come up, and the protagonist is a third gender. Before that, they were either, just there for mockery, or they had a negative role for it. Movies like Sadak and all. Whereas movies like Fire and Water, which had a strong lesbian character or something like that, they didn't even get released properly. Something that Padma used to do.
But I just would like to bring to your notice, is it that we talk about construction or representation? I think there is a difference, subtle difference between when we say construction. Can there be a cinematic construction or cinematic representation when we talk about cinema? Because we need to be very clear, because does medium construct or represent, or is it society which constructs? I think we need to be very clear conceptually when we are talking to, accordingly your understanding about method will come. So if you know the language of research, the construction of the sentence itself, problematizing, probably that will help you to understand your method as well as techniques. So we need to be very clear about it.
But so the terms in your title will have to be organization.
Ma'am, when I chose my topic, the main focus was that how social media was actually helping the newspapers. Like there was a time when there was a normal myth that with technology, maybe there will come a time when newspapers will will get vanished. But with the social media, this actually was proven wrong. Now newspaper organizations, their websites have chose this YouTube, they have gone for the Twitter and Facebook, and with the emergence of social media, I guess they have competed with other electronic media like television, radio and whatsoever.
You had all the ideas in mind.
Yeah.
And you narrowed it down. Now from all the four, what is very clear is that you were all thinking about things that were surrounding, what you were observing, what you were interested in your surroundings. In your case, it may not be the surroundings exactly, but still gender, household, etc. is something which is in your surroundings. Now when we do social science research, unlike natural science research, social science research is something which happens and its germination begins with what is happening around us or what we get to know about something. So very often it can happen that students go to the teacher and say, please give us a topic and we will work on that. That happens pretty commonly. Social science research doesn't work like that. The larger question which you want to pursue is something which is actually based on your observations, your experience, your hunches in your mind. You need to see how you can develop it. Now, in terms of developing a question, what does social science do? It studies social facts. Now, in sociology, of course, Durkheim has defined what social facts are. So, anything which is a social fact is worth research. You can't do a research without social facts, because your research is on social facts. Whether it is the mockery of the third gender, or the use of new social media in newspapers, or gender relations, or new IT and the use of smartphones by the elderly. Now, all these are social facts. They are general. They have a constraining effect on people, and they are outside the people in many ways. So whether it is mockery, or it is new media, or it is smartphones and old people, or it is gender relations, they are not all within a human being, but between human beings in terms of social relations. So the research in social sciences is research in social relations in many ways. And we focus on social relations. But these social relations also are not limited to what we are looking at. So when we look at, for instance, Buddhist texts, we are looking both at the household and its interaction with the Sangha. And she's also comparing it with Hindu texts. So, Brahminical texts. So what is the scenario here? Even if it is Buddhist texts and Sangha and gender relations, there is a comparison that is happening. So contrast and comparison is there in our minds, which we do not articulate when we are framing a question. When we are framing the research question, our focus is generally on what will be the question. More than the question, it is on topic, because formally in the university system your PhD registration happens on a topic. So you think of a topic, but when you're thinking of a topic, most important thing is what is the research question? What are you trying to find out? And preparing a research question is more difficult than thinking of a broad topic, because a broad topic is much easier to think about than what is your central question. And in social sciences, because we study social facts and we study things which are generally popular, available, and these are not isolated events that we are studying, like studying the everyday. Now, studying the everyday is something which is very general. It happens all the time, but scholars have to notice it. You have to be conceptually clear about what this everyday is. You have to be conceptually clear about what is new social media. Now, some of these concepts, once you are clear about, you try to narrow down your question. So at the end of your research proposal, all of you would have had some questions, 2 or 3 questions. What exactly do you want to find out in this research? Now, these questions and your topic are related in a way where you are imagining research. When you think of your questions and your topic, you've already started imagining research. You started imagining research in the sense that it's a topic which is prevalent in society. People act in certain ways, and it is that action that interests you, and you want to study that further. That is one aspect of imagining. The other aspect of imagining, which is very important in social sciences and in other sciences as well, is what research is available on that topic. And that is to be considered very, very carefully. So if you use the library carefully, then you get a lot of ideas about what are the possibilities of raising questions. It is here that your imagination begins to work. We have not talked about the method yet. We are not talking about method. We are only thinking about the larger picture and trying to imagine what our research project would be like. So what all does it cover? When you are using the library, it is here that you get a lot of ideas about what available research is telling you. Whether that research is going to be supported by you later or critiqued by you is a different question. But you should be informed about that research to be able to imagine what kind of research you yourself would be doing. Now, one very typical thing about social science research is that most of the social science research is not earth-shaking research. Most of the research is additional information about issues that are commonsensical. So then what are we doing when we imagine research? One question that I would like to ask you is, when I say Karl Marx, is he a political scientist or an economist or a sociologist? He was a thinker. So you cannot bracket him into sociology, anthropology, political science, history, isn't it? He was a thinker, social thinker. It is the kind of work that Marx was doing is something which spreads across various disciplines in social science and covers a lot of social activities about society and society over time, society at a macro level. So you can't claim Marx or delimit Marx to being a sociologist or a political scientist or an economist. Now, being a social thinker means he was able to imagine what are the issues that bother society or that bother his mind. So can anyone give one or two questions which would have really bothered him?